It happened again. Dallas County, Texas ES&S poll books add hundreds of checked-in voters on their own in real time as polls close. Remember that happening? Yeah, you can't cast a vote for someone who didn't check in, so you got to check him in, right? Automatically, of course, for your convenience. Yeah. November 2022, the TTP reported that a Dallas County polling location randomly began to increment voters on the ES&S Express poll books. As the polls were getting ready to close for their November 8th, 2022 selection, poll workers in Dallas County noticed that their e-poll books were adding hundreds of checked-in voters at a time. This took place sporadically for about 15 minutes, with all of the devices settling on inflated numbers. The TTP received an exclusive video showing that it had happened again in Dallas County on November 7th of this year. As polls were getting ready to close, poll workers noticed their ES&S Express poll ebooks acting in almost the same behavior as 2022. Hundreds of votes were added over the course of 15 to 20 minutes as they were beginning to prepare to close the polls. The poll book in the video should have had 182 voters. However, the machine randomly began to add more and more voters until finally displaying 1,377 voters checked in, or 1,195 more than what it should have been. Further, the Dallas County GOP reported that they experienced widespread problems with the e-poll book's connectivity to the internet. It began the first day of early voting with 20 to 30% of voting centers being offline for anywhere from 2 hours to half a day. They claimed the issues continued on to selection day, with many voting centers reporting that e-poll books were offline, with one location being offline until mid-afternoon. One polling location, a voter showed as voted on one poll book and as eligible on the poll book right next to it. The TTP article about the e-poll book surges in 2022 was fact-checked by Lead Stories fact-checked and decided the Dallas County Selections Department and ES&S. In that fact-check, they described the system as state certified. However, at the time of 2022 selection, the Texas Secretary of State website did not have any current certifications listed for the ES&S poll books. In fact, the Wayback Machine shows it wasn't updated until January of 2023, with a May 31st certification date. Wow. So yeah, so they're saying it was certified in May 31st, but it wasn't updated until January of this year. Lead Stories goes on to cite the Dallas County rumor control page. They then cite Katina Granger, the then senior manager of public relations for ES&S, who basically ran a little cover piece for it. And lastly, Sam Taylor, Assistant Secretary of State for Communications for Texas Secretary of State. They told Lead Stories, generally speaking, e-poll books are required to communicate with each other and update in real time throughout the county, showing who has checked in at other polling places so that no voter can try to cast a ballot twice. This is how these systems are supposed to function. You vote, it updates the central server, communicates with all the other e-poll books, and then ensures that a voter who checks in wasn't already checked in at another location. Then why is it saying, oh, there's so many more people checking in? And then also, why aren't they all the same number? If they're all talking to each other, hey, all together we got 20,000 votes, right? Why doesn't it say 20,000 for all of them? Why do they all have different numbers? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Looks like someone got caught lying by me, Frank. Anyways, shenanigans going on. Unfortunately, the GOP is asleep at the wheel. They're not even trying. They don't care. They're not even going to try to impeach JB.